Thanks for the opportunity of reflecting on the past. I grew up in South Belfast and went to Ulsterville Church. And while I was there, I was in all the organisations, and I was learning a lot about the Bible and about Christianity. But one thing in particular impressed me, and that was the quality of about 5 or 6 of the elders. And I began to realise that this was a vibrant congregation, and this vibrancy affected me. It wasn't only the disciples that heard a call to follow. I heard a call, and I began to follow and wanted to deepen in my commitment to Christ. When I was in my teens, I felt as it were a tap on the shoulder, and I began to realise that there was a call to ministry. I talked to the elder that was most close to me, a man called Miller. I said to him what I was thinking, and he looked at me and he said, "Dennis, for some time I've been thinking that that's the way your life would go." And so that was encouraging and affirming what I was thinking was good. I went on to meet Professor Hare to tell him about what I was thinking, and he gave me advice, and I went into Queen's and did my primary degree, and then into what was called then Assemblies. And I studied there for a while, and then he suggested I should go to Princeton. And I went to Princeton, and the quality of lecturing at Princeton was first class, and I deepened in my understanding of Christianity. When I was at Knock, I decided to apply for Glenwherry, and I applied, and I was one of 6. Those were the days when many people were competing, if you like, for one church, and I was called. Later, my treasurer used to say, "There were 6 people, Dennis, and you were the last one. You were the only one we remembered, so we called you." And it was a good joke, but maybe there was something in it. It's very hard to look back as to what the number 1 was saying. Anyway, Glenwherry was very hospitable, and I decided to have a spring visitation, so I went round the church every year, and I had to keep telling them, "Not so much to eat, please, not so much to eat." But when I was there was a lovely touch. When I was nearing the end of a pastoral call, they used to slip over a cushion so that the minister could kneel and pray for the whole family. There were characters in Glenwherry, and when we were going together but had not married, Nora came one Sunday, and one of the characters talked to the lady that was with Nora and said, "What do you think of the new mom?" And she said, "Well, this is Mr. Whitley's intended." It's a phrase we don't use very much now. I was called to Kirkpatrick, and I went there. It was a busy congregation. I was on my own. It wasn't a wealthy congregation. It wasn't a congregation that could afford an assistant. And I was preaching twice every Sunday. In the early days, we had a number of short times for Bible study, and sometimes for a look at the church. I remember once I did one on the forerunners of the Reformation, and then a week on Luther, and then Calvin, and then Knox, and then a couple of weeks on Presbyterianism in Northern Ireland, really stretching me and stretching them. But from the beginning, a bit like when I was in Glenwherry, from the beginning I was approached by Belfast Royal Academy and asked would I teach there. I told them I couldn't do it immediately because I was just into this congregation, and Nora took it on because she had some background in theological studies at Queen's, and she took it on for a year, and then she went on to full-time teaching, and then I took on the teaching of religious education in BRA. Again, it was so worthwhile because we were able to teach in a way that was helpful, I believe, to many people, and it extended the number of people that I would be reaching. So that was complementing my work in Kirkpatrick Memorial, and in that church I spent a lot of time in pastoral work. I visited people when they were in the best of health. I wanted to get to know them as they were, not simply at crisis times. And I was able to go on, and one gets used to the rhythm even of a busy congregation, and I went on for 27 years. And at the end of that, in 2001, I thought that I would maybe retire, but then Caroline said that she was going to get married, and I thought I better stay on for another year to be able to pay for that. So I worked for 41 years in 3 different churches, and now I've been retired from 02 to 21, and I have nothing but gratitude to God. To God be the glory.
Dennis, thank you so very much indeed. And may I congratulate you on 60 years of ordination. That is absolutely wonderful. May God bless you and continue to bless you. Thank you very much indeed.